What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button because that's the most important thing you can do for me on this channel. What it does, that helps to make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get the notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, please do me a favor and yourself a favor by hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, please make sure you share this video out on your social media platforms to your family and friends to inform them on this news and information. And yes, that does help to give me a slight boost in the YouTube algorithm as well. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news, man. And today we have to get into it. Vivek Ramaswamy ran down on Van Jones. Yes, Vivek ran down on Van Jones to confront Van Jones about some things that Van had to say about him on CNN. And the things that Van Jones said, according to Vivek, resulted into death threats on his family for the first time throughout the entirety of his presidential run, to him dropping out and then endorsing Trump, right? So I want to get into this video right now. I'll play what Van Jones actually said at the end of the video, but I want to get into the confrontation with Vivek and Van Jones first. So let's get into this right now.
So we got death threats. We got death threats after the thing you said. So that's Van Jones for you.
So on air, I actually don't swear. I did it very intentionally that one time, and I want you to just know about it because I think it's important. So you were on air and you said that he's like, he's a demagogue, he's dangerous, he's going to be around for 50 years, long after Donald Trump's gone. So the first time in the campaign, we get a death threat of a man who wants to show up in New Hampshire. Thankfully, the police intervened, got it. The next day, back-to-back days. So my wife's scared enough. The next day, we wake up. It's 3 a.m. We get a call from him. He's my security guard saying, "Thank God you picked up because we just got a call that somebody showed up at your house and has 4 dead bodies out." So that's within 48 hours. And I'm not going to attribute that to your comment because whatever it is. But for our family, you know what? Publicly I didn't do it, but for our family, yeah, it pissed us the heck off, actually. And so the reality is, I don't try to engage in rhetoric that gets other people in danger of bodily harm. But I do think that if somebody's going to, even if you didn't intend to provoke that kind of ire on my family, yeah, in that week it landed with me. Now, at the same time, am I going to...
Test.
Do I want to set a good example for people in this country of what discourse looks like? I do. And in the heat of a presidential campaign, and I've been open about it since I left the campaign as well, my competitive spirits, sometimes stop us from being able to have the level of discourse we want. And I think you were wrongfully pushed out of the White House for your comments around 9/11, way back when as well. They were misconstrued, exactly. So what I will tell you is this. Yep. So I just wanted you to know that backdrop. That's my personal song. Don't give it to anybody else.
I will call you in a couple of days and I'll apologize to you.
Okay, well, we don't need to do any of this on air.
But I'll call you right back.
And you know what we can do is we can turn the page and maybe have a chapter to demonstrate what actual good discourse looks like in this country. And that's not just on you, that's on me as well. Okay, that's on two of us. Yeah. Hey, it's classy of you to say so, and I hope we can build a friendship. I really mean that. Please do. Okay? Thank you. Take care.
So there's that right there. Now let's get into what Van Jones actually said about him.
A condescending way.
Let me rewind it back just a little bit.
And the smug, condescending way that he just spews this poison out is very, very dangerous because he won't stop Trump. But he's going to outlive Trump by about 50 years. And you're watching the rise of an American demagogue that is a very, very despicable person. Yeah. And I was shaking listening to him talk because a lot of people don't know that is one step away from Nazi propaganda coming out of his mouth.
So as you can see here, man, Van Jones is talking about what we see with Vivek Ramaswamy is the rise of a demagogue that's going to outlive Trump by 50 years, and that he spews Nazi rhetoric, right? And something has to be done about it. I'll say this much, right? I'll say this much, as it pertains to Van Jones actually listening to what Vivek had to say. I'm going to give Van Jones a lot of credit for that. And I'm not going to play the Van Jones crying video as I would normally do whenever speaking about Van Jones, because like we saw happen when Jamal Green ran up on Roland Martin in Chicago. Roland Martin just ran away. Roland Martin didn't want to have any type of conversation with Jamal Green at all whatsoever about his disrespect towards Jamal Green. Roland Martin just left. I mean, in this particular case here, you can argue whether or not the things that Van Jones said actually led to the death threats on Vivek, but I can see how someone myself who's a family man, I'm a father, I'm married, I have a wife, myself as an individual, I'm a very docile person. I'm non-confrontational. I don't want any issues. I don't want any problems. You all know me. I ain't got time to tarry. I ain't got no time to tarry at all. I have zero time to tarry. But when it comes to my family, and particularly when it comes to my son, whoever you think I am, whatever you think of me, that guy and the perception that you have of me no longer exists. When it comes to my family and particularly my son, that guy is gone and you're dealing with somebody else completely different now. And I can't account for what he's going to do or say to you in that moment, right? When it comes to defending your family. And that's just how Vivek felt. He felt like, man, you know, you saying that kind of stuff about me led to these death threats, possibly. Though I don't want to 100% put it on you, it did make me feel a way. And Van Jones, who in that moment, when he was initially confronted, we watched in the beginning of the video, Van left, right? He walked off, but linked back up with Vivek again so that they can actually have the conversation, right? So, like I said, for Van Jones, as far as he's concerned, I give him all the respect in the world for that. You know, for taking a moment to say, okay, bro, it looks like you're really upset about something. So what is it that you want to tell me? Let's talk. I could have ran away from you. I could have told you, peace out. I don't have nothing to say to you. I'm not interested in what you have to say at all whatsoever. But Van didn't do that. Van said, okay, let's chop it up, bro. And he let Vivek get off his chest, the things that he wanted to get off as it pertains to how he feels concerning the things that Van has said about him publicly, right? And then Van Jones, you know, just as a man said, hey, man, listen, let me get your phone number. You know, I'll personally call you and apologize to your wife, you know, and we don't have to do this on air. Vivek stated we don't have to do this on air either. This doesn't have to be some big public thing. You know, just we could have a private conversation and we can chop it up then. And Van Jones is willing to call him personally and even apologize to his wife for whatever distress that may have been caused because of his words. Like I said, at the end of the day, you know, you can go back and forth on whether or not Van Jones is the cause for that. You can go back and forth to whether or not Vivek is overreacting. A lot of people love Vivek Ramaswamy. A lot of people hate Vivek Ramaswamy. A lot of people like Van Jones. And a lot of people like myself like to clown Van Jones. But at the end of the day, this interaction right here between the two of them, you know, in the heat of this election cycle where there's just a lot going on, there's a lot of foolishness, failed assassination attempts, all types of madness, you know, it's good to see some good, healthy discourse and dialogue where things could go left very quickly, especially concerning what's going on with Vivek's family, right? And death threats that he feel possibly could have came from Van Jones' rhetoric. It's good to see good, healthy dialogue happen between the two who disagree with each other on pretty much everything, but can come together on this situation here and have a conversation like men, and Van Jones, like a man, takes responsibility for whatever his role may be, even so much so to the point that he said, hey, man, you know, I'll call you up. I'll even apologize to your wife. My bad if you feel this way or you feel that my rhetoric might have caused some harm to your family. I never would intend to do anything like that. And you know what? You got it. You got it. So I can appreciate this interaction. I think it is a really dope interaction. It's a good thing that happened, and it's a good thing that it was caught on video for everybody to see. So with all that being said, that does it for today's news, man. Please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video out on your social media platforms to your family and friends. And also, don't forget to follow me on Telegram and Rumble. Both my Telegram and Rumble link will be in the description box below. That is extremely important that you follow me on those two platforms. Thank you all for your time. And until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.